We shall start now. So what is an, am I audible to everyone?
Yes, sir. Horrible.
Yes, sir.
So now what is an Azure data factory? Okay. So or else we can also say like this. What is an Azure data engineering is? So let us see here. What is an Azure data engineering? Okay. Azure data engineering. So whereas the Azure data engineering provides the following services, we have it. The first service of the Azure data engineering is nothing but it is called as what? Azure data factory. And the next service we have it as what? Azure data bricks. Okay, guys. So these are the two services we have it. What is it? Azure data factory and Azure data bricks. Azure data factory and what is that? Azure data bricks. So these two are the services provided by the Microsoft. These two are the services provided by the Microsoft to perform the job of ETL, which stands for what, guys? Extraction, transformation, and what is that? Loading. So this these two are okay. What is it? We have the Azure data factory and the Azure data bricks. So Azure data factory and guys, the Azure data factory and the Azure data bricks, these are the two services provided by the Microsoft to perform the job of what is that? ETL, which stands for extraction, transformation, and what is that? Loading. So now, guys, so what do you mean by this extraction, transformation, and loading? Extraction, transformation, and loading. it is a technique or the process. It is a technique or the process which is used for performing. Okay, which is used for performing the data summarization. Okay, data summarization from the source to the target. Whereas I'm writing it, ETL stands for extraction, guys, transformation, then we have what's it? Loading. Getting my point? Extraction, transformation, and what is that? Loading. So whereas this process of ETL, that is nothing but extraction, transformation, and loading, requires, guys, requires the following. What is that? The first one is called as what is that? Yes, guys. The first one is called as what is that? Source. What is the first one called as what? Source. And the next one is nothing but what? Target. Okay. So here we have two things. What is that? Source and the target. Yes, guys, please tell me. Here we have what is it? Source and what is that? Target. Source and what is that? Target. So between the source and the target, we perform the job of what is that? ETL. That is nothing but extraction, transformation, and loading. And this is a middleware. This is the middleware. Where can you see here, guys? Where here you have what is that? Ultimately source. So what do you mean by source? Yes, guys, what do you understand when I'm using the word called source? Yes.
From where we can get the data.
Exactly.
Where we have to transfer the data.
Yes, exactly. Source is nothing but actually a place where you find the data is called as what? Source. A place where exactly where you can find the data is called as what? Source. A place where you can find the data is called as what? Source. And what about the target? Target is a place where ultimately we are going to load the data. That is source and target. Source and targets. Okay. These are the two major important things which we need to know here before we start the process or before we start the ADF, that is Azure Data Factory. Getting my point, all of you? So here you have what is it, guys? Source of data. Here we have what? Source of data. Source is nothing but it is a place where you can find the data, guys. Source is nothing but it is a place where you can find the data, or elaboratedly, I can say that it is the source of data. Source of data. That means a place where you find the data is called as what? Source of data. Now, guys, tell me what are the ways of getting the data, or what are the ways of getting the information? Tell me now. Data means what, guys? Information ultimately. Am I right? Data, or what is that? Information. Yes, guys. I want everyone to interact. Yes, guys, tell me. Data is nothing but what? Information. Am I right, guys? Source of data. That means a place where you can find the data is called as what? Source of data. The full name of the source is nothing but what? Source of data. Okay. So generally, guys, what is it we say? Source of income means what? So the place or the way you get the money is nothing but source of income. In the same way, source of data is important here. So source of data is nothing but a place from where you get the information or the data is called as what is that? Source of data. So hence we can find the information here in the following. Okay, in the following places. What are those? The first one here we can say what is that?
Database.
Yes.
Relational DB.
Database. Whereas, guys, database. Whereas, apart from the database, we can also get the data in what is the type of what?
CSV, TSV,
Yes. Okay.
mainframe.
Okay. Then we have what is that? Database files. Okay. And whereas the files can be of various types. What is that?
Excel file.
Yeah.
DOS file,
CSV,
Excel
XML,
file.
JSON.
Excel file,
Very good. Excel files. Then we have what is that?
TSV,
doc file,
CSV. Then we have what is that?
DB,
That is JSON files. Then we have what is that?
Mainframe files.
Okay, mainframe files, or we can say even okay, Parquet files.
XML.
Okay, and then we have what's that? XML files, etc., etc. These are all the various type of files where we can find the data. So we can say the first one is a database, guys. The first one is a database, and the second one is nothing but what is it? We have it files. Okay. So whereas this is nothing but the place where you can find the information. Whereas ultimately what we do, we simply pull in the data. That means we get the data, guys. We get the data. We get the data from the source of data into what is that? Into what is that?
information data,
Into what is it?
ADF.
ADF. For that, we use the process called what? For that, we use the process called what? E. What do you mean? E stands for what?
Extraction.
Extraction. Very good.
Extraction.
Yes, we use what is it? Extraction. We use what is that? Extraction. So extraction is nothing but it is a process where the data will be pulled in. It is a process where the data will be pulled in. Okay, pulled in here. Okay, pulled in into the ADF environment. Into which environment here? ADF. That is Azure Data Factory. Azure Data Factory environment. And here, once the data is extracted into this, that is nothing but ADF environment. Here, by using the ADF, guys, by using the ADF, the data is transformed. the data is transformed. The data is what is transformed. So what will transform? Transform or transformation is the actual process of data summarization. That means preparing the shortcut of the data. That is called as what? Data summarization. Anyways, I will show you how the data is summarized. Okay. And once the data is summarized, guys, once the data is summarized, the data will be loaded. The data will be what is that? Loaded. So whereas the data will be loaded. Where it is loaded? The data will be loaded into what? The data
Target.
will be target. The data will be loaded into what is it? Target. So now guys, what is the process we are following? So the information or data is here, and from there you are extracting the data. Can you see you're extracting the data into what is that? That is a ADF environment, and then we are performing the data, and on the data we are performing what is that? Transformation. Okay, and once the data is transformed, ultimately you load the data into what is that? Target. This is nothing but we have the process called what is that? Yes, this is the process actually, which is referred as what is that? ETL, which is called as what? ETL. Everyone is clear?
Yes.
Whereas the data we can find it. Yes, guys. Whereas the data we can find it either in the form of a database, else in the form of what is it? Files,
Excel, CVS, CS, JOS,
Parquet,
PAR, XML,
XML,
etc.
Avro, etc. Various type of files we have it. Okay, guys. So this is nothing but the type of data where you can find the data. Okay, guys. Am I right, everyone?
Yes, sir.
Please interact, everyone.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so the next one is, guys, here we have it.
Hello.
Yeah, go ahead, please.
Is it like a tool like Informatica or SSIS?
Yeah. It's not a tool, basically, it's a service, but it does the same job. Okay, now, guys, once it is done. Okay, so now, guys, already you know what is clouds and what is on premises. You already know it. Okay,
Yes, sir.
so you already know what is a cloud and what is the on premises. Cloud is nothing but the data which is located or data which is stored in the cloud environment. In what is that? Cloud environment. Whereas what is the on premises? The data which is there in the local PC. Hence it is called as what? Yeah, local PC or the local system is called as what? On premises. That means physically the whenever the data is there. So the physically whenever you store the data within a system or within a server, okay, which is maintained by us, it is called as what? On premises environment. Whereas cloud is nothing but it is an environment where it is maintained by the cloud provider. It is maintained by what? Cloud provider. Okay, guys, it is maintained by the cloud provider. Okay, so now, guys, so what is the best example for cloud environment and on-premises environment? Yes, guys, we have a mobile phone. Okay, we have a mobile
Google
phone.
Drive.
Yes, very good. We have a mobile phone. So mobile phone has some internal memory. So whereas the mobile phone internal memory or the mobile information, whatever you can store it in a mobile phone, that is called
SD
what?
card.
On premises.
On
That is
premise.
called as what? On premises. Physically, you are storing the data. But now you want to transfer your physical data of the mobile phone into Google Drive. So here you have what is it? Google Drive is there.
It is cloud.
Yeah, Google Drive. That means what? Yes, guys, tell me. That means you're storing the data into Google Drive. So hence, the data stored in a Google Drive, we can say that the data is stored in a cloud environment. The data is stored in what is that? Cloud environment. On-premises means what? The data which is stored. Okay, guys, the data which is stored on a physical device.
Physically.
Yeah, physically the data will be recorded in what? Physical device. That is called as what? On-premises.
Yes, on premise.
And now, where does the data? We know that we store the data actually in the Google Drive. But actually, where does the Google stores the data? The Google stores the data physically into what is it? Data centers. Data center. So across the globe, guys, across the globe, the Microsoft has 54 data centers. How many? 54 data centers to maintain the data. Okay, across the globe, there are 54 data centers. So where it maintains the data. Okay, guys. So now let us start with further. All of you clear or not?
Yes, sir. Clear.
Only one voice I am able to hear. What about rest of you guys?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Clear, sir.
Clear, sir.
Yes.
Yes, yes.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, those who have joined today, just let me know. Raise your hands. Okay. Jaya, Bhagwan Sharma, and Mahashi, and who is it? Uma Shankar. Only that means joined only today, not yesterday. Those who have directly joined today. Okay, guys, that's it. Thank you. Thank you, everyone. I'll talk to you guys once this is done. Okay. So now, guys, here you have what is that? Yes, here you have what is that? On-premises. Okay. And the clouds. Now, guys, let us start with. Guys, today we'll start with the big data. So now, guys, tell me, what do you mean by big data? Yes, guys. See, guys.
Large data.
Yeah. Yes, yes.
Stored in
Yeah.
terabyte.
Yes. Large data is nothing but what? Big data. Big data. What is it? It is big data. So, guys, big data is nothing but the data which is recorded, okay, in a very massive amount of data. So let us try to split it and understand. So what is a big? Big means what? Large. Okay, I'm using what word? Large. And whereas data means what, guys? Data is nothing but what is that? Information. Information. That's it. So now, guys, large information. That means what? Big data. Large information is nothing but called as what? Big data.
Large.
So see, large information is nothing but what? Big data. Big data is nothing but what? A very large, a very massive amount of data or massive amount of information is called as the large information or the big data. Okay, guys. So whereas guys, the data, as we know that the data will be recorded in what? Database files. Okay, and that is nothing but
Excel.
live streaming data. Live streaming data. Okay, the data recorded in what is that, guys? The data recorded in what is that? Database files or even the live streaming data. Can you see here? All these. Okay, what is that? All these basically are nothing but called as what? Source of getting the data. Source of getting the data. Whereas the source, okay, of getting the data, okay, actually is also called as what is that? Big data. It's also called as what? Big data. That is nothing but what? Large amount of data. That is the massive amount of data. And whereas, guys, okay, whereas this massive amount of data or the large amount of data, where we can get it, from where we are getting it. So for that, we have to see the source. We have to see the sources of getting big data. sources of getting the big data, guys. Okay, what is that? We have it. We have the sources of getting the big data. Sources of getting the source of getting the source of getting the big data. So now, guys, what are the sources from where we can get the big data? Yes.
Human generated data.
Very
Data
good.
lake.
Very good.
Machine generated data. Machine.
Okay. Now, guys, as you said, I'll write it human generated data. Human generated data. Okay, is the one. And the next,
IoT.
very good. Then we have what is it? Machine generated data. The next one, IoT sensors.
Shiva, please mute yourself. Some disturbance coming from
Okay,
your side.
IoT sensors. And then we have what is that? The fourth one is the banking applications. Okay. Then what is that? Another
Social
we can
Healthcare.
Social application.
Healthcare. Commercial.
Hospital.
E-commerce.
Okay.
Telecom.
Social media.
Yes. Social networking sites. Social networking sites. Guys, so this is nothing but these are nothing but what? Sources of getting the big data. Okay, sources of getting the big data. Okay, so these are nothing but what? Sources of getting the big data. Whereas, can you see here? Human generated data is nothing but what? The data which is generated by you and me. So whereas we generate the data in the form of what? Yes, guys, some CSV files, some Excel files, etc., etc. So whereas, okay, Excel files, etc. Even we put the data into what is that? Database. And whereas in the database we store the data in the form of what is it, guys? Tables. Am I right? So whereas this is called as what? Human generated data. So now what do you mean by machine generated data? Yes, guys, tell me.
Log information. Log data.
Yes, log data. Okay. Yes, log data. Okay. Now, guys, okay, log data is that is fine. Very good. Now let us go into very simple one. Okay, machine generated data is nothing but the data which is generated by a machine. So let us take some device here. Okay, we have a that is nothing but very good, CC camera. Very good. CC camera is the one machine which is generating the data, which is nothing but it captures the live footages of the area, whereas that videos are nothing but what is called as a data only. In the same way, here we have what is that? ECG machines is there, and then we have what is that? MRI machines, or we can say CT scan machines. Okay, so these are all what is that? These are all the machines which generate some data, Okay, so this data is called as what is that? Machine generated data. Whereas apart from this, even we have the IoT sensors which generates the data. What is IoT sensors? Yes, guys, tell me now.
Temperature sensor.
Yes, exactly. IoT sensors are those which measures, yes, guys, which measures temperature. Which measures what is that? Temperature. Which measures the temperature. Okay. Which measures the pressure. Which measures the gas. Which measures the, yes, guys, which temperature, pressure, gas. Okay. So it generates, okay, and wind speed.
Infrared.
Etc. Infrared rays, everything. Okay, most of the things are measured by the IoT sensors. Okay, what is that? IoT sensors. Okay, So guys, IoT sensors measures the temperature, pressure, gas, wind speed, etc., etc. So these all are measured, and whereas once it is measured, even this particular thing generates the data. Am I right, guys? So these particular sensors are connected to a particular computer or a machine. Am I right? It is connected to the particular computer or a machine. At that computer records the data in some file. So we can say it is in a text .txt. Okay, guys, now tell me, this IoT sensors are connected to the computer, and IoT sensors connected to the computer, and this computer records the data in which format here? Text format. Okay, this is nothing but the text.txt. Text is a name, so I'm using, instead of text, I'm using sample.txt. That means sample is the name of the file, and .txt means what? It's a notepad file. It is a notepad file. So likewise, it generates the data and records the data. Now, guys, what is that you have it? Banking applications. Now tell me, what is banking applications? Banking applications is called as the first and very major source of generating the big data. Okay, is generating the big data. The banking application has, guys, the banking application has massive amounts of data. It has, what is that? Massive amount of data, and it is considered as the first source. It is considered as the very first source. It is considered as the very first source, okay, to generate the big data. Banking applications. So how? For example, guys, for example, I'm giving an example of your bank account. You have all of us must be having the bank account. You go to the bank to update your passbook. You have deposited 10,000. You have withdrawn. After that, you have withdrawn 2,000. Okay, so now, and you have made 1,000 rupees online payment. Now even the balance you want now. So tell me now, how many entries will be there? You have been to the bank, deposited the sum of amount of 10,000 in your bank account. So now by credit, it will give you one entry, by credit 10,000. Okay, then afterwards, what will be the another entry? By withdrawal. Can you say by withdrawal of 2,000? Okay, then immediately beside it, it will give you the balance. That means 10,000 is deposited, 2,000 is withdrawn. So balance should be again, what should be the balance? 8,000 should be the balance. Again, next line, you are making online payment of 1,000. So now cash, debit cash. Okay, cash debit online payment. So is 1,000. So again, you will have one more entry at the last column. What is that? It gives you the balance. Now what will be your balance now? Tell me. 7,000. Okay, 2,000 you have withdrawn it, 1,000 you have made some on-time payment. So now, guys, for this particular small transaction, how many entries are there? Tell me now, how many entries are there? We have some 3 to 4 lines. We have some 3 to 4 lines entry will be there. So likewise, likewise, the banking applications generates a very massive amount of data on a daily basis. Very massive amount of data on the daily basis. Okay, guys, massive amount of data on the daily basis. Massive amount of data on the daily basis. So hence, guys, these applications are called as, what is that? These applications are called as, what is that? These applications are called as what? Source of generating the big data. Major source of generating the big data. Major source of generating the big data. Okay, guys. Yeah, everyone is okay.
Sir.
Yes.
Yes, sir. Okay.
So next.
Yes.
So let us start the next one, guys. Now, this particular data that is called as the big data, whatever we have seen just now, big data, this big data is classified or divided, guys, everyone. This big data is classified or divided this big data is classified or divided into two categories. The big data is classified or divided into what is that? Two categories. What are those two categories? Can you tell me, guys? The first category is called as what? Yes, guys, the first category is called as what? Structured data. Okay, we have one more thing now. Social networking sites means what? The data which is generated, guys, the data which is generated, guys, the data which is generated by the social networking sites. Can you tell me what are the data generated by the social networking sites, or what is social networking site? Yeah, Facebook,
Twitter, Instagram,
yes, Twitter, yes,
LinkedIn.
yes, Twitter. Then we have what's that? LinkedIn, Instagram, yes, WhatsApp, very good. WhatsApp, etc. Now, guys, these are the various, that is nothing but sources of getting the big data when it comes to the social networking sites. In the social networking sites, we can have what is that? Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, Instagram, WhatsApp, etc. etc. Okay, guys, these are all the sources. Now, guys, whatever the data generated, all of you, whatever the data generated, whatever the big data generated by these some of the sources, whatever the data generated by some of these sources, the data guys, that data is divided into three categories. What are those categories, guys? The categories are as follows.
Structure, unstructured, semi-structured.
Yes, structured data. Yes, guys, the next one is what is it? You have it, semi-structured data, and then we have what is it, guys?
Unstructured.
Unstructured data.
Unstructured. Unstructured data. What is that? Structured data, semi-structured data, and what is that? Unstructured data. Getting my point? These are, can you see it? Structured, semi-structured, and unstructured data. That means these are the three different sources, or we can, sorry, these are the three different categories of data we can get it. That means, or else I can say like this: the big data is classified into three categories. The big data is classified into what is that? Three categories. What is that? First one is called as the structured data, and the second one is called as the semi-structured data, and the third one is called as unstructured data. Now, guys, what do you mean by structured data? I'll show you now. So structured data is nothing but the data which is recorded in the form of a, yes, guys, in the form of what? Tables. Such as, can you see it? I'm writing it: name, ID, job, salary. Okay, so here I have a name, I'm giving it as Alan, ID 23, job is, what is it? We have it, clerk, and then we have the salary here, guys. We have the salary here as 10,000. Bobby, senior clerk, salary is 20,000. Can you see here, guys, all of you? This data is recorded in which format here? Columns and rows format. So how many columns and how many rows are there? 4 columns and 2 rows. 4 columns and 2 rows. Am I right, guys? Yeah.
Yes, right.
Yeah. So these are nothing but 4 columns and 2 rows. So hence this is called as, what is that? The structured data. It is called as what, guys? Structured data. It is called as what? Structured data. That means a data, can you see here? The data Yes, the data which is recorded in the form of a proper rows and formats. Hence, this kind of data is called as what? This kind of data is called as what? Structured data. Okay, guys, structured data. Okay. Now, when it comes to this, guys, okay, what is it? You have it semi-structured. So, what do you mean by semi-structured? Yes. What do you understand?
HTML.
Yeah.
HTML.
Very good. Semi-structured data is nothing but, guys, semi-structured is nothing but the data which is recorded. The data semi-structured is nothing but the data which is recorded, the data which is recorded in the form of, yes, semi-structured format. Hence, that is called as what? In the form of the
XML.
HTML file, or else we can say XML files.
JSON file.
Then we have also JSON files, etc. These all are called as what is that? Semi-structured data files. Okay, let us see how does the data actually looks here into this semi-structured. Okay, when it comes to the semi-structured, guys, the data in a semi-structured, or when you can say okay, HTML. Okay, then we have what is that? XML or JSON. So let us see first of all the JSON here. How does the data look in the JSON? So I'm writing the JSON. JSON. Okay, guys, JSON file. The data within the JSON file. JSON stands for what? JavaScript object notation. JavaScript object notation. JSON stands for what, guys? JavaScript object notation. Okay, JavaScript object notation. Okay, guys, am I right? Yeah, I want an answer, everyone.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, JavaScript object notation. Okay, so whereas can you see a JSON file? So how does the data will be recorded? In a JSON file, the data will be recorded in the key value format. It is recorded in which format here? Key value format. So use it. Curly braces. Use the curly braces, guys. Now, this is under the curly braces. I'll write the first row and the first column. I'll write it these two. Let us see how the data will be recorded. In the curly braces, guys, in the curly braces, we have what is that? Name is equal to, what is it? We have it? Alien, comma.
I think
Again.
it will be clone, sir, instead of equal to.
Yeah. So then we have what is that? What is it? You have it? ID. ID. Okay. ID. You mean to say it is colon?
Yes, sir.
Is it?
Yes.
Okay. So just a minute. I will show you the file itself. Yeah, I think colon only. Here I have some JSON. I'm opening this. Let us see. Yeah, guys. So it's colon. It's taking the colon only. Okay. So this is the colon. So we have it. Anyways. So okay, we'll just make it here a colon only. That's not a problem. Okay. So instead of that, can you see here? I'm using colon. Can you see here? I'm using the colon. Okay. Then we have what is that? Alien is their ID number. Can you tell me what's the ID number? The first ID number is what? 23.
23.
Okay. Then again the comma. Then we have what is that? The third that is a column. So the third column, how it writes? Job.
Job.
So the job. So how the job will be written here? Tell me now. What is the job you have it? Clerk.
Color.
So comma. Now guys, after the job, what is the next thing you have it? Tell me now.
Salary. Salary.
Salary. Salary. Okay, salary, and then I'm using the colon. So what is the salary you have it? It's
10,000.
That's it, guys. Now, guys, this is done. And once it is done, guys, can you see here? Once it is done, the braces will be closed. So this is called as a key value pair in JSON. This is called as what? Key value pair in JSON. Okay, guys, it is called as what? Key value pair. It is called as what? Key value pair in JSON. Okay, so this entire thing is called as what? Key value pair. Okay, now guys, this is nothing but the data, how it is recorded in the form of what? JSON. Now let us try to see, guys, how the data is recorded in an XML file. Okay, so let us see here. The data will be recorded in an XML file in this format here. So here, guys, suppose you have the table name. I'm taking the same table here. Guys, I'm taking the same table. The table name is what is that, guys? Employees. The table name is what is that? Employees. The table name is what is that? Employees. So now, guys, I'm writing it here. So here, what it does, yes, I'm writing it. Now, guys, the data will be recorded in the form of, can you see here? First of all, the table name will be there. This is called as an opening tag. It is called as what? Opening tag. Now, after that, you will have the first tag. So how do you write the data? Tag. Name. Close the tag. Yes, guys?
Yes.
Then afterwards, give the value. What is the value of the name you have it? Can you tell me? Alien. There will be no semicolons here. Then close the tag. Open now, close the tag. So use close the tag, we use a slash here. Name. Close. Okay, guys. This is nothing but called as what? The data recorded in the, yes, guys, data recorded in what? XML file. Now again, the second, there is nothing but the same row, second column I have to write it. Tell me now. What is it we have to use? Colon. ID. Yeah, very good. ID. Then use, what is that? What is the value of the ID, guys? 23. And then close it. Closing with a slash ID. Then what is the next thing you have it? Can you tell me, guys?
Job.
Very good. So use, what is it? Job. Okay, guys, use what is it? Job. And use what is the job?
Clerk.
Yes, clerk. And close the tag. What is it? Job. Job tag opening, job tag closing. And next one, what is it you have to tell me now?
Salary.
Very good. So use the tag sal. Salary. And now give the salary as 10,000. And close the tag here. That's it, guys. Close the tag.
We need to close employee also.
So now, guys, once the entire, can see here, once the entire data is done here, that means the first row you have entered it, first column data you have entered it. Just, can you see here? Close the main tag here. That's it. This is how the data is recorded in the format called, what is it, guys? XML format. Am I right, everyone? Yes, everyone is following or not? Please let me know.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir, following.
So now, so this is nothing but we have, what is that? This is nothing but we have the semi structure. And now you have, what is it? HTML. HTML stands for what? Hypertext markup language. So how the data will be there in HTML? Now, guys, the data in the HTML will be recorded. You will have, yes, guys, header. You will have, what is that? Header.
Header and footer.
Header. The data will be recorded into a header. And footer means what? At the end, you will have the footer.
And body.
And here you will have the body. Okay, here you have the body. Okay, so here we write everything, whatever the command you write it, whatever the things you want. So now this is basically XML or HTML is quite relatively looks like same, but bit different. That's it. Okay, so here we can write the entire thing. So here this kind of data is called as what? Semi-structured data. It is called as what, guys? Semi-structured data. Okay, semi-structured data. Now, guys, we have already seen what is a structured data and what is a semi-structured data. Structured data means what? Purely the data which is completely
tabular format.
structured, completely structured. Whereas semi-structured means what? The data which is half of the data is structured, not the full one. Okay, but still it has some structure. And now the third one, what is that you have it? Now, guys, tell me, what is the third one you have it? The third one is called unstructured. So here we have the, what is it? Unstructured. What do you mean by unstructured, guys? Unstructured data is nothing but the data which does not have any structure.
Any relation.
Yes, any relation or any this thing, such as you have your
Audio, video.
you have audio files, video files, photos, pictures. Does all occupies any kind of thing we have it? No. Whereas this is not, this does not follow any structure. Hence, across the globe, guys, 80% of the data across the globe, guys, 80% of the data you will get it as what? Unstructured. 80% of the data across the globe, from across the globe, you will be getting what is that? Unstructured data only. Okay, unstructured data only. Whereas, guys, only 20% out of the 20% only will get the semi-structured, and what is that? Structured. Now, guys, so why I'm telling you the type of data? It is your job as a data engineer. It is your job as a, what is that? As a data engineer. It is your job as a data engineer. Okay, as a data engineer to get this structured, okay, or semi-structured or unstructured. Whether it is a structured, semi-structured or unstructured, it is the job of the data engineer to get the data into this environment and structurize it. If it is unstructured, try to structurize it. Getting my point? Or if it is semi-structured, try to convert into proper structure. So this job is nothing but is actually the data engineer has to worry about the type of data and how to convert the data into what is that? The proper formatted data. Okay, guys, everyone is clear? So now, but we are going to do this job by using the process or by using the service called what? ADF, which stands for what, guys? Azure Data Factory. What is it? Azure Data Factory. Everyone, is it clear for everyone? Please.
Yes.
Yes.
Now, just a minute. What I will do is I'll just give you a brief explanation because we have some of the people joined today. So for that, for them, I'll just give a simple example here, guys. What is the ADF does here, guys? Suppose here you have a data. What is it? You have it. Can you see? Here you have a data. Just a minute. Give me a second. Okay, guys. So here you have a data. So here you have a data of a supermarket. Here we have a data of a supermarket, guys. So let us assume the supermarket has the following. What is it? You have it. So the first one you have it as what? Supermarket data, product ID. Then your product rate. Product ID, product rate, and we have what's that? Product QTY sold. Okay, that's it, guys. You have, and one more thing, date of sale, and you avoid date of sales. Okay, guys. You have the following columns. What is it? The first column is the product ID, then product rate, product quantity sold, and date of sales. So let us fill up the values for them. Product ID is something like this. I'm giving it. Okay, guys. And now the product rate is, let us make it as 100 rupees. And the product quantity sold is a 10. And the product date of sale is, what is it? You have it? Yes, guys, tell me. 19th of, or I can say 20th of, guys, 20th of September 2022. The second one, I'm writing it here, guys. Everyone is following or not? The product rate is 200. Quantity sold is 0.5 pieces. And the date of sales is 20/09/2022. Now, guys, I'm entering one more row here. Here I'm giving 500. Quantity sold is 2 pieces. And the date of sales is, what is it? 20/09/2022. Okay, guys, this is the thing we have it. Okay, am I right, everyone? Now, guys, here is the data of a supermarket. Now the supermarket authorities requires the following queries to be solved. First of all, they wanted to know what is the net sales amount collected on 20/09/2022. This is the first, that is the query they have. The second query is that what is the expected sales may happen on 21 or maybe 22/09/2022. Okay, guys, am I right, everyone?
Yes, sir.
This is the data we have. So we have to solve these
Yes.
two queries. This is the requirement of the supermarket owner. So now, guys, tell me first of all, what is it? You have it. Product ID is there, product rate is there, product quantity sold is there, and then we have, what is that? Date of sales is there. Now to find out the net sales amount, guys, to find out the net sales amount, all of you, to find out the net sales amount, do you require, guys, do you require to find out the net sales amount? Do you require, guys, do you require the product ID?
No.
No.
Product rate is required.
Yes.
Yes.
So now, guys, what I can say here, the product rate. So I'm just using it, product rate. So now product quantity sold is required.
Yes.
Yes. Product quantity
Yes.
sold is required or not?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes, of
Required.
course. Yes, it requires. And then date of sales is required or not?
Required.
Yes, date of sales is also required. Now, guys, I'm just picking up all these columns. Now, guys, can you see how many columns are picked up from the source?
3.
3 columns. Though I have the 4. This is called as, guys, extraction of data. It is called as what? It is called as what? Extraction of data. Guys, it is called as what? Extraction of data. Now, guys, what is the next part comes? Tell me now. Transformation. T. T stands for what is it, guys? Transformation. So let us see how does a transformation take place. Transformation of data. Transformation of data. Now, guys, when it comes to the transformation of data, transformation is the actual process of data summarization, or whenever you require to perform any operations on the data, we perform it in the transformation. Now tell me, how can you get, how will you get it? The net sales amount. You have to get, what is that? Net sales amount. You have to get, what is that? Net sales amount. So I am writing it here. So for getting the net sales amount, product rate is 100
Into
rupees. Product quantity sold is 10 rupees.
10.
100 into 10 is equal to what? 100
Net-
into 10 is equal to what? Yes, guys. 100
Net
into
sales.
10 is equal to what? 1000.
1000.
Yeah, net sales amount 1000. So now, guys, just a minute. I'm writing it here only. I'm writing it here. 1000. Now, 200 into 5 means what?
1000.
500 into 2 means what?
1000.
1000.
Now tell me. Now add all of them. 1000 plus 1000 plus 1000. What is the amount you have it? 3000.
3000.
Can you see here? I'm using what's it? 3000. Okay. And here simply I can add the date of sale. So guys, what is the date of sales you have it? Tell me now. The date of sales is what? 20th 09 2022. So now guys, this is called, can you see here? This is called, guys, this is called as what is that? Yes, tell me now. This is called as what is that? This is called as the transformation process, where you make changes on the data. And whatever the data is transformed, ultimately you load the data. That is called as what? Loading into the target. Getting my point? So in this particular process, what is it you have done? Extraction you have done, transformation of data you have done, and loading of the data. Okay. Okay, what is it we have done? Loading of the data is also done. Getting my point, guys? Yes? All of you clear with this?
Yes.
Yeah, any doubt? Tell me, please.
No, sir, it's clear.
No, sir.
Okay, so this is how we perform the job of what? Extraction, transformation, and loading. And whereas what is it we do? We extract the data. So what is the source of data you are getting it? We are getting the data from the following sources. And whatever the data you get it, that will be divided into 3 categories: structured, semi-structured, and what's that? Unstructured data. These are the different type of data we can have it. At that data, what we do, we perform the job of what? Extraction, transformation, and what is that? Loading on the same data. So for the extraction, transformation, loading process, we require source and what is that? Target. So between the source and target, we perform what? ETL. And to perform this ETL, we use what is that? Azure Data Factory, or we use what is that? Azure Databricks. All of you clear now?
Yes.
Yes.
sir.
Yeah, so this is how exactly it works. Okay, guys. So now this is the thing we have it. So from tomorrow onwards, we will start up with the actual subject, and even the practicals will start from tomorrow. Okay, guys. Any doubt? If you have, you can ask me now. Please come out of your doubt if at all you have any.
No, sir.
No? Okay.
Hello, sir.
Yes, please now go ahead.
Sir, how many days is the course duration and
That will be 2 months.
same time?
Yeah, 2
2
months,
months.
same time. There will be no changes in the time.
Monday to Saturday, sir?
Friday.
Okay, okay.
Saturday mostly will not have the class, but
Okay.
it will be on Monday to that is Friday. If it is required, we'll also have it on Saturday. Okay. Just if the course, if the portion is not covered, yeah, please come ahead.
Can you share this notepad?
Yeah, of course I'll share it.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, tell me.
Sir, will you provide the recording classes daily?
Yes, recording classes will be provided to you.
Okay.
Yeah. Any other questions? No, sir.
Hello, sir.
Sir, whether this course includes the any projects or
Yes, of
not,
course.
sir?
Project is basically we are going to
Okay.
see as a part of the course itself.
Okay, can we get the license, sir, to work to
License.
practice?
License is not required basically because there is nothing pirated. You have to go and take the subscription from your end only.
Okay.
There is nothing is required in this.
Because I think this requires the organizational mail ID, right?
Not required. You can have it create with your personal email ID also.
They are providing
Okay.
free subscription for Azure.
Yeah, free
Yes,
subscription they are providing it, and you can also go for pay as you go model.
yes, yes.
So you can, that's not a thing. Simply go to this Microsoft Azure.com. Go to the Azure.com, you will find that.
Hello, sir.
Yeah, go ahead, please.
So to become a data engineer, this is sufficient. Only Azure Data Factory is sufficient, or additional thing is required. So can you give the roadmap so that we can become a good data engineer? So
You
what
require
things?
you require the ADF, and you need to know the concept of ADV also. Whereas in this part of course, we will see a part of ADV also, along with the ADF. Will be included here. Though it is not there in your contents brochure, but I'll cover even the part of ADV.
And any additional languages required for that?
SQL will do better if you have SQL.
Okay, okay. Programming language not required, right?
No, not required.
Okay.
So ADF is the alternative of SSIS, sir.
Not the alternative. SSIS is
So SSIS knowledge is also required, sir.
not required. But SSIS packages we can run here in ADF. Yeah. Any other questions now?
Is Python required?
Huh?
Python required to be a data engineer?
Not required. For ADB is required Python, you need to know. Okay. But for ADF you don't require, because ADF is totally GUI, graphical user interface. Okay. So you'll not have much commands to be written there. Not much. The commands you need not write it much. Okay. You not have the programming very minimal. Not minimal. It means there is no programming basically. Okay, guys.
Hello.
Yeah. Please go ahead.
Yeah, I want to say the course content which is uploaded on DurgaSoft. That all these topic are
covered here.
Yeah, like Azure SQL database.
Yes. Cosmos DB, all the things.
And data lake. Yeah, okay.
Yes. So any other questions?
Sir, one doubt.
Sir, actually, we don't have a course contents.
You can see on the web page.
Okay.
You can see DurgaSoft is there. DurgaSoft web page is there. Go to that. You will find the course content there. So that is okay. The same thing we have it.
Okay, sir. Okay.
Yeah, please. Next question.
Sir, we know already HTML and XML is required.
Obviously, requirements, you'll get the data in that format, and you have to get the data into this ADF from those files.
Okay.
So up to that level only is required. As such, you need not write anything in that. You need not create the HTML files. You need not create the XML files, JSON files. You need not create it. You will be getting that file already. So simply you need to get the data and do the task on the data.
Sir.
Yeah, tell me.
Yeah, Key Vault is covered or not, sir? Key Vault?
Of course.
Azure.
Yeah, Azure keyword for secrets. We use it. It is covered. That is covered. Logic app is covered. Okay. Logic app is covered, which is nothing but email notifications. And we cover even the Cosmos DB. Okay. NoSQL database. And then we have, what is that? Cosmos DB is a NoSQL database, and Azure SQL database. Data lakes, we cover it. Okay. ADLS Gen 2, Gen 1, and as well as you have the blob storages. Everything we'll just cover it here. Okay. Whatever the things are given there in the content feature, all those things are covered without any thing. Yeah, tell me, please.
Sir, I have gone through all the content, whatever you you have sent it the link. So Azure Databricks is not there. Any topic related to Azure
That's
Databricks
what.
is not.
It's not there, but for this current batch, ongoing running batch, I from myself, I have decided to include that.
Okay, okay, sir. Thank you.
Then we should learn separately Azure Databricks.
Actually, there is a separate batch for Azure Databricks, but right now, for the first few batches, I'll be taking up the bricks as a part of this.
Okay, okay.
If you want to learn the bricks in detail, then guys, you can also have a separate batch, which is starting on the 28th of this month at 10 o'clock, 10 a.m. If you want only the bricks, only the details of full bricks. If you want the combination of ADF and ADB, the relative concept I'll cover regarding the ADB also here.
Okay, okay.
So if all are agree, maybe chance some people are not agree on that my point, but can you do, sir, like that after Azure Data Factory, since beginning to complete level of Azure Database, you give concept, and can you increase some fee in the same batches? If it is possible, if all are okay, then only I am telling. Otherwise, I am not telling anything.
That particular, I don't have that thing to take a decision on that part.
Okay.
So you have to talk to management for that.
Okay, okay, no problem. Then okay, Azure Data Factory is okay. If I will consider Azure Database, then I will go for the 10 a.m. batch. Okay, na?
Okay, no problem.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, guys, thank you. Any other questions you require it?
Sir, a small doubt. How can I get revision classes, sir?
Revision classes, you joined today.
Yes, sir.
Yesterday it was demo.
So sometimes we need revision classes.
You get the recordings, no?
Oh, okay. You can provide any PDF file, sir?
PDF file for what?
That ADF PDF file.
Achha, you mean to say material?
Yes, yes, sir.
Material will be given.
Sir?
Material will be given to you.
I want material.
Yeah, that's what. Material will be given to you. In the Google Drive only, you can find it.
Oh, okay, okay, fine, sir.
Any other questions? Please come ahead.
Yes, sir.
I have one question.
Please go ahead.
Sir, so for this course, do we need to have some details knowledge about the Informatica or any other tool, or do we have the good commands over the SQL parts?
Not required really.
Okay.
Whatever it is required, we will see as a part of this course in the classroom itself. That will be more than enough for you to understand this. But you have to put some efforts from your end. If you have the knowledge, then it's fine. If you don't have the knowledge, then you not learn anywhere. Okay, separately for this.
No, so we have to give the efforts for Informatica tool, because in ADF, if we are going to install the SSIS package, so we have to be choose for pay and go, right?
Yeah.
This will not come into the free and package. So we must have to learn something if we are trying to go in the deep.
Yes.
Okay, thanks.
Yeah. Next question, please.
Sir, do you have the Power Apps and Power Automate batch?
Power BI.
Power Apps and Power Automate.
Power Apps and Power Automate. That is totally a different. It's not related to me.
Okay.
You can check with the management. They'll let you know this.
Okay, okay, sir.
Sir,
Yeah, tell me. Please go ahead.
yes. Sir, if we have to focus on one skill between Python and Azure, which
Python, Azure. Tell me. Yeah.
in more demand, be more beneficial for us?
See, beneficial in the sense the way you wanted to take your career. That is the only thing which is important right now in this.
Okay.
So beneficial or which one is good, that particular thing, I can tell you,
Okay.
but it seems like, I'm just marketing my product.
No, maybe just because right now I'm in great need of getting a job, and I think I remain focused on that particular subject.
Hmm.
So I just want your advice.
Pardon me?
I just want your advice, meaning should I focus on Python or should I focus on Azure, and which will help me to grab a job soon.
See, basically Python is totally, a programming this thing. Okay. Hello?
Meaning if I learn Python only for data science, meaning I focus entirely on that module, Python for data science. And versus Azure, which skill is better?
See, totally the data science is a different concept.
Okay.
And Python in Azure Databricks, basically you don't require the Python. Sorry,
Okay.
data factory you don't require it. But in the
Okay.
bricks you require the Python.
Okay.
So if you don't know the Python, we can also go ahead with the SQL also. Okay. That is the
Okay.
one factor we have it.
Hello.
Yeah, please.
Which tool we will learn in this series?
Basically in Azure Data Factory, we are not going to see these kind of tools. Only SQL class will be there, 1 or 2 days. That only I will take. Okay, and rest of all things will not be there.
Spark, PySpark.
Yeah, PySpark. All this comes under the bricks only. In bricks classes, we'll have the PySpark.
Okay.
Azure Databricks covers all those things. Okay, any other questions?
Hello.
Yeah,
sir.
go ahead, please.
Yeah, yes. Sir, for Power BI, as a Power BI developer, this Azure Data Factory is important or not for just?
Without a Power BI developer, basically he can work only if the the data engineer provides him the data.
Yeah. So as we seen that we having that Azure Data Factory knowledge also, then we had lots of calls from.
Obviously, now once you're there, when you get on 1 or 2 things more, so obviously that thing will be an added advantage.
Yeah, sir, and one thing also. So, which Microsoft certificate should we take after that Azure? So, as a associate certificate for Microsoft certification, but this syllabus is okay for that, or
Yes,
should we learn more?
it is more than that. It covers more than that. Whatever we are covering.
Yeah. For that Microsoft associate certification, no sir.
Yeah.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
See, but guys, there is basically in right now in the cloud technology, I got some chatting questions, so hence I'm answering them. See, basically in the cloud technology, whatever the requirement is there right now, the requirement is very vast, and they are not having the sufficient manpower, as already I discussed this thing yesterday also. So you have you don't need to worry about all these things about your age factor and all those things. And it was the previous experience, etc. Okay, so just try to put it up, have good things on the subject, have a grip, good have a good grip on the subject, and then you can go ahead. That's not an issue. And put the previous experience, whatever you have done it. That doesn't matter here. Okay, you have done it, but here I'm new to this, but still I know this. But you should be very good on the subject. That is the main factor.
Like you're going to cover Azure SQL as well?
Yeah, of course. SQL classes, I'll have it.
Yeah, okay.
Okay, guys. Any other question?
Yes, sir. Last question. Is MS SQL is similar to Azure SQL?
Yes. Same.
So basic SQL will be fine for that, or
Yeah, basic SQL will be good.
Okay, thanks.
Okay, any other questions? No? Okay, guys, thank you. Again, we'll meet tomorrow at the same time, 8 o'clock. Okay, thank you, everyone. I'm ending up the class.
Yeah, thank you, sir.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Thank you, sir.